I made $1.6 million in the last 12 months from my truck dispatching business, and in this free course, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. The free course that you're about to go through right now is actually split up into 7 different videos where I show you step by step how to start a truck dispatching business from scratch, even if you have no experience. In this video specifically, we're going to talk about the marketing. So I'm basically just going to expose the entire system that I use to find and sign carriers. I'm going to give you my exact offer. I'm going to show you all the different ways that I find carriers. And I'm also going to show you how I run my sales calls, so you can always sign a carrier when you jump on a call with them. So without wasting any more time, let's just jump right into it. All right, so here we are inside the presentation, and here's what we're going to cover. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the offer. So I'm going to tell you what it is, why it's so important, and what offer you need to use to find a bunch of carriers. Then we're going to talk about the traffic methods. So there, again, I told you there's only 4 ways to find carriers. I'm going to show you all of them step by step, and I'm going to tell you what the best one is and how to use it. And then finally, when you actually get in front of a carrier, when you're talking to a carrier, how do you actually convince them to say yes to working with you, to using your dispatching service? So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to tell you literally step by step exactly what you need to say. And then finally, at the end of this video, just going to summarize this video up, give you some homework to do as well, so you can, all this knowledge that you're going to learn, you can actually put it into action for free and start making money. Okay, so I hope you guys are excited for that. Now, just a quick pro tip, make sure you watch this video in 1.5 times speed. So where you see my image right now, like this little circle where you can see me floating, right below me, there should be like a gear icon. Click on that and change the playback speed to at least 1.5 times. Okay, it'll make this video go by much quicker. You can change it to 2 times if you want. I tend to yap a lot, so it'll make it much less boring and you'll stick around for a longer time period. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's just jump right in and talk about the offer. Now, before I explain what the offer is, I should just give a quick shout out to this book that I read by Alex Hormozi. It's called $100 Million Offers. Some of you might know who Alex Hormozi is, some of you don't, but do yourself a favor, pick this book up. I'm not getting paid or anything to promote this. This book completely changed my life. When I started using like the concepts that I learned in this book in my truck dispatching business, we grew from $500,000 in yearly annual recurring revenue to 1.3 million in ARR, essentially. And we did that in just a couple of years, 3 or 4 years. So this is what I credit all that success to. But in this video, I'm not just going to copy what Alex Hormozi says. I'm just going to show you what I applied in truck dispatching, what worked for me. And yeah, you can just use that yourself. But make sure you go ahead and read this book. It's going to be very, very valuable for you. Anyways, all that out of the way. So what is an offer? I keep saying offer, offer, offer. What is that? An offer is everything that makes someone say yes. Okay. It's the hook. It's the promise that you make them. It's the price, the guarantee, the way that you deliver your product or service. It's all of that wrapped up into one. That is an offer. And another way to think about this is that the offer is not really what you do, but it's how you sell it. Okay. So a lot of people, a lot of dispatchers make the mistake of thinking that dispatching is their offer. Okay. So they'll say something like, hey, I will provide you my dispatching service. That's my offer. That's not an offer. That's just what you do. How you sell your dispatching service is the offer, which you're completely missing. Okay, that's why there's not a lot of successful dispatchers. They're missing that key portion. Anyways, that's what an offer is. Now, why is that so important? Well, a strong offer, honestly, will do 90% of the work for your business. Okay, if the offer is great, you can be average in every other area. But if it's weak, you're really, really, really going to struggle. Okay. You have to be exceptional in all other areas if you have a weak offer just to get average results. Rewind this video and listen to that again. Okay. Because that's super important for you guys to understand. An offer will do most of the heavy lifting for you. If you invest a lot of time to come up with a really good offer, I promise you the rest of your business is going to be light work. If you mess up the offer, if you have a super weak offer, something that people are not really attracted to, no one's going to give you a chance. No one's going to want to work with you. No one wants to pay you. No one even wants to click on your ads, your content. Whatever you do, nothing will work. And again, the only reason being your offer. Now, speaking of which, there's really only 2 types of offers, especially in dispatching. There's the commoditized and the grand slam offer. Commoditized offers are boring. They sound like everyone else in the market and they compete on price. A Grand Slam offer or Grand Slam offers, on the other hand, are ones that just feel unfairly valuable. Okay. It feels like the carrier feels like they're almost scamming you, the dispatcher. You're almost doing too much for the carrier. That's a Grand Slam offer. You might be a little confused. Okay. You might still not understand the concept of what an offer is and what is a commoditized offer, what is a Grand Slam offer. So let me just break it down visually for you. Okay. So here's just a visual representation of what a commoditized offer is, something that you will see in dispatching a lot. You know, this is what most dispatchers are running. 99% of dispatchers have a commoditized offer, and you will relate to this. And then I'm going to show you the offer that I run. Okay. And that I also tell people in Dispatcher University to run. So first and foremost, let's just start with the commoditized offer. It's super basic, super simple. They just basically run their base offer. Okay. That's all they have. It's just a base offer. So their base offer usually looks something like this. I will dispatch your truck for 5%. That's it. Okay, that's their entire offer. Again, you know how I said that in the beginning, an offer is not just what you do, but it's how you sell it. This is how they're selling what they do. They just tell people what they do. That's it. It's so boring. Everyone else is saying the same thing in the industry. There's nothing unique about this, nothing creative about this. So the only thing you can do is just compete on price. Some other dispatcher comes along, they see like, oh, this dispatcher is offering his dispatching service for 5%. I'll do it for 4%. Another one comes along, hey, I'll do it for 3%. I'll do it for 2%. It's just a one-way down. That's it. You guys are just all fighting each other to see who can price themselves the lowest, do the most amount of work for the least amount of money. That's not really a business that I want to get involved in. Okay, that's not a business that I want to run. On the other hand, we have a Grand Slam offer. Okay, this is something that we use. Now just compare the commoditized offer to the Grand Slam offer. So again, it starts with the base offer, but our base offer is going to be something different. I will dispatch your truck free for 14 days. That's our base offer. We're not asking for money or anything. Hey, I will just do it for free, but only for 14 days. Now, already, if we just compared base offer to base offer, which one's better? Which one is more attractive? Of course, it's the Grand Slam offer. But wait, there's more to this. I will dispatch your truck free for 14 days. In return, all I want is a video testimonial. Now think about why I'm asking for that. I will dispatch your truck for 14 days. In return, I get a video testimonial, which is the proof. I get proof. I start collecting proof that I'm working with other carriers and I'm getting them results. So on day 10, day 11 of this 14-day free trial, I jump on a video call with the free trial client that I'm working with the carrier that I'm working with, and ask them to just give me a little review. Okay. How much money were they making before they started working with me? How much money have they made since they joined, started working with me? And would they recommend me to other people? That's about it. That's all I'm asking them on that video call. But think about how powerful that is. If I do this for 5 people, 7 people, 10 people, 15 people, I have 15 videos now that I can show another potential carrier. Hey, you want to work with me? Look at all these other 15 carriers that I've worked with and I've gotten them results. And here's video proof of it. Again, even with just these 2 elements alone, I am much farther ahead. I have a much better offer than a simple commoditized offer that 90%, 99% I would be comfortable saying of other dispatchers are running right now. The commoditized offer is what you'll see in the industry right now. But that's why I'm working with a bunch of carriers, the people that I train in Dispatcher University. That's why they're so successful, because we do something completely different. But wait, there's more steps to this. So I will dispatch your truck free for 14 days. That's the base offer. In return, I get a video testimonial. I'm able to collect proof. Then I'm also able to upsell these free trial clients. I obviously want to make money too. So the free trial clients who have been working for free, I've been working with them for free and I've gotten them results firsthand. Now I will upsell them into my paid service, but I can also charge them more money. So I will sell them my paid service for 10%. So I will charge them 10% for every load that I book for them. These carriers are much more willing to pay me that higher rate because they've already seen the results firsthand. They've already experienced it firsthand. Now let's say, on average, 50 to 60% of people will say yes to working with you, but let's say the other 50 to 40% say no. So what do you do for them? Well, you can just downsell them. So, hey, I totally understand, you don't want to work with me for 10%. Totally fine. How about this? At least give me 3 referrals. If you send me 2 to 3 referrals, I will offer them that 14-day free trial that you got. And as a thank you, I will extend your free trial by another 14 days. So basically you get 30 days, almost 30 days, a whole month of free dispatching service from me. And you know you've been getting results with me, but you can also help me get 2 or 3 other people. I will offer them the free 14-day dispatch trial. And think about that. Every carrier that you get, you work so hard to find that first carrier, that carrier will then help you find 3 more carriers, okay? And those 3 carriers will then help you find 3 more carriers each. So you can see how it starts to compound out. And remember, we're getting video testimonials from all these carriers that we're working with. We're collecting proof. Imagine you have that much proof, 10, 15, 20 video testimonials showing how great you are, what type of results you've gotten people. Think about how easy it would be to convince a carrier to work with you if you had all that proof. So yeah, this is super insane. But then finally, just to wrap this up, okay, just to top this Grand Slam offer off, like the cherry on top is the offer enhancers. So you can involve some scarcity, some urgency, some guarantees. But what I like to do is just say, give them some scarcity so they take action right now. By the way, I'm only going to offer this free trial to the first 10 carriers that I work with. After the 10 carriers, I'm never offering a free trial again because you don't have to. You've collected 10 video testimonials at that point. You've done 10 free trials. You've collected 10 video testimonials. You've probably received like 30 or 40 referrals as well. At that point, you can just start charging 10% per load. You don't need to compete on price for, with everyone else. Other people don't have proof that they've gotten, carriers' results. You have that proof. So you can easily charge 10%, 8%, 9%, a much, much higher rate than the other dispatchers. So anyways, that's the offer that you guys should be using. Okay. The Grand Slam offer. Just to recap, I will dispatch your truck for 14 days, free for 14 days. All I ask in return is a video testimonial. On day 10, you do that video testimonial. At the end of the video testimonial, you try to upsell them into your paid service for 10%, 9%, 8%, whatever you feel comfortable with, but make it a premium, nothing less than 8%. If they say no to that, 50 to 60% will say yes, but the other people that say no to that, that's totally fine. You can downsell them. Hey, just bring me 3 carriers, bring me 3 leads that I can work with. I will give them a 14-day free trial. I will extend your trial by another 14 days. And I'm only going to offer this for the next 10 people. Again, so I would recommend you take me up on this offer. I'm only doing this for the first 10 people. That's it. This is a much, 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 much better offer. And I have proof for that as well. So I've actually, let me see over here. I've actually run the math on this. Okay. I spent my hard-earned money to run Facebook ads for both of these offers. And I just want to show you the results. Okay. So these are real results from my Facebook account from running both of these ads. So the first one we're going to talk about is the commoditized offer. So the ad that I ran was just basically saying, hey, I'll dispatch your truck for 5%. Okay. It was that commoditized offer. So I spent $1,000 over the month of, I think this was in July. So I spent $1,000 running this experiment in July. And here's what happened. So $1,000, I reached 32,992 people, roughly 33,000 people. And of the 33,000 people that I reached, only 0.021% responded. So what I mean by that? Out of the 33,000 people, only 7 people actually booked an appointment to talk to me. So, make of that what you will, but that's not really that good. All right. So of the 7 people that booked a call, only 79% showed up. I say only, but 79% is a pretty good show up rate. And the reason for that is because I have an automated funnel. I use Truck AI. It's like the software that I built. If you watched the last free course video, then you know what I'm talking about. But I have a pretty good automated nurture sequence. So we have a pretty good show up rate. So it was 79%, which means 5 people actually showed up to the call. And of those 5 people, we were able to convert 24%. Basically, we were able to convert 1 person into paying us 5%. Okay. We didn't show this person any proof that we've worked with other carriers. We basically just jumped on a call with them, asked them a bunch of questions. And at the end of the call, we were just like, hey, do you want to pay us 5% to work with us? So yeah, it wasn't like a great pitch or anything, but that's what we had to work with for this experiment. So only 1 person took us up on that offer, 24% closing rate, 1 person joined. We charge that person 5%. So the carriers that we work with, dry van, semi-truck carriers, I know that on average, we can make them around $25,000 per month, give or take, a couple thousand. but let's assume $25,000 per month. We're going to charge them 5%. That means over the course of the month, the dispatcher is going to make $1,250. Since we only signed one carrier, that means in total, we only ended up making $1,250 in revenue. Okay. So if we take a step back and look at what happened, I spent $1,000 over the course of the month. I made back $1,250. Now you might be thinking, well, okay, look, you made a profit. Not really. Okay. That's not a good ROAS. There's other costs that I have to run my business. I have software, bills that I need to pay. I have employees that I need to pay. I have money that I need to pay to myself. I have an office space that I need to pay off. So I have other bills to pay other than just marketing. All this number is telling me is that I can make $1.25 for every dollar that I spend on ads. That's not really that good. You can't really scale your company if those are your numbers. But again, that's what you can expect with the commoditized offer. These are real results that I got from Facebook. Okay. Now, on the other hand, when I ran my Grand Slam offer, and you can see like the ad looks almost the exact same as the other one, except we changed it up to obviously fit our Grand Slam offer. I basically said, hey, I will dispatch your truck free for 14 days. So that was the main offer. Now, here are the results for the Grand Slam offer. So again, I spent the same amount of money, $1,000. This time I reached 38,000 people, just a little bit more than what we did with the commoditized offer. I'm guessing that's because the algorithm had an easier time finding the right people to put our ad in front of, but it wasn't a lot more people. Okay, so I'll just kind of call it even over here. But this time I reached 38,000 people with this offer. However, the big importance was in the response rate. So this time our response rate was 0.097%. So out of the 38,000 people that saw our ad, 37 people actually booked a call with us. Okay, so that's very, very impressive. Honestly, we could have booked a lot more calls, but I only used that one ad. I didn't really optimize my ad creative like I usually do. Again, I wanted to run this experiment super clean. So we just ran one ad. We only got 37 people to book an appointment with us, which is still pretty good. 81% show rate, again, pretty similar to what we had with the commoditized offer because of our nurturing sequence in the back end. That doesn't change. 81% showed up, which means 30 people actually showed up on the call to talk to us, to my agents at least. However, of the 30 people that showed up, 51% actually converted into the free trial. Okay. So 15 people actually signed the contract to work with us for 14 days free. And we were going to charge them. We told them we're going to charge them 10% if they want to continue to work with us after the free trial. Again, assuming we're making $25,000 per month, for each carrier, we make 10%. So us as the dispatcher is going to make $2,500 per truck that we work with. We sign 15 trucks. We make $2,500 from each. That means in total, we would be making $37,500 per month. So again, just taking a step back, we spent $1,000. We made back $37,500 per month. Okay. And these people are going to stick around for like 5-6 months. So that's a ROAS of 37.5 to 1. Now, just to be completely fair, I actually looked back and saw how many of these free trial clients actually turned into real clients for us. And of these 15, only 8 people actually agreed to continue to work with us, which is pretty typical. Again, 50 to 60% will convert into a paid service with you. So 8 people we were able to convince to continue working with us. So what is that? 8 times 2,500. I think that's $20,000 per month, if my math is correct. So we technically made $20,000 per month in real money just by spending $1,000. So our ROAS is 20 to 1. We make back $20 for every dollar that we spend on advertising. Think about that. I can basically just blow money on ads, and I know that I'm going to average $20 for every dollar that I spend on ads. Having a Grand Slam offer basically turns your operation into a money printing machine. These are real results, real data. I'm not just making up theories. Okay. This is exactly how it works. So I hope you guys can see the logic behind that. Okay. Now I also want to help you guys make your own offer. Okay. I don't want you to just, just sit back and do nothing. I want you guys to actually build a successful truck dispatching business. So I've created a worksheet for you where you can create your own offer step by step. So if you want access to this, just go to dispatcheruniversity.com/offer-creation. It's completely free. You don't need to pay me anything for it. And also I have a messaging worksheet. Just go to dispatcheruniversity.com/messaging. These are 2 worksheets that you guys need to complete. Now, I'm not going to go through both of them with you, but I will go through the offer one just to show you how it looks. So let me open up the offer creation worksheet. Here's how it looks. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it. And here we are, offer creation worksheet. This worksheet will help you create your starter offer, or I should just call this Grand Slam offer, which is basically a 14-day free trial where you dispatch for a carrier 100% free in exchange for an honest video testimonial. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. You'll use this trial to either convert them into a paid client at 8 to 10%, or you get 3 referrals to run that same free trial offer to. No matter what happens, whether they say yes or no, you still at the end of the day get a video testimonial that you can use as social proof to sign your next carrier. The more proof that you collect, the easier it becomes to sign a carrier for a lot of money. But yeah, as you can see, it's very simple to follow this worksheet. So step 1 is just basically collecting some information about the niche that you want to join. In a previous video, I think in part 1 or part 2 of this free course, I gave you guys a niche selection worksheet. So after this video, you can go back and watch all the videos from start to finish. And in that video, I give you a niche selection worksheet where I showed you like all the different niches that you can pursue and, how to do research on all of them as well. You don't need to pick a niche in the beginning. I would actually recommend you don't lock yourself into a specific niche in the beginning. Just be willing to work with everyone. But for now, just pick one niche, just to do some research on first. And then you can pick the next one to do some research on and so on and so forth. So for this example, I'm just going to use dry van semi-truck. You can come in here if you want to work with box trucks. You would just change this to box trucks. Okay, simple as that. But what type of loads do they move? You can do some research online, figure that out. Do they need any special equipment? For a dry van semi-truck, I know that they don't need any special equipment, just a 53-foot trailer in good condition. Based on the niche that you're focusing on first, this would change, obviously. What regions or lanes do they usually run? So you would do some research on that, okay? Again, the more research you do, the better you're going to be, okay? I just help you focus your energy. I just ask you questions so then you can find those answers online. You're not like looking around aimlessly. You can just answer these questions. And if you're able to answer these questions, you are already 95% ahead of every other dispatcher. Okay, you can just become an expert just by answering these questions. So once we've got some basic information about your niche nailed down, then we can get into the starter offer. So I want you guys to keep the base starter offer the exact same, or Grand Slam offer, whatever. Sometimes I'll call it the starter offer. Sometimes I'll call it the Grand Slam offer. I'm talking about the same thing. The only thing that you can change is the length of the free trial. Actually, I'm just going to call this the starter offer. So it's not confusing. Let me just change it over here really quickly to create your starter offer. Starter offer, Grand Slam offer. I'm talking about the same thing, guys. Okay. So the starter offer formula, this is how it looks. I'll dispatch your truck 100% for free for X amount of days. All I ask in return is a video testimonial if you're happy. So this is where you fill out how many days are you going to do the free trial for? Do you want to do it for 7 days? Do you want to do it for 14 days? Do you want to do it for 30 days? Pick it and make sure you put your answer down right over here. If you guys don't really know what you want to do, I would just say just stick with 14 days. Okay, that's more than enough time to give the carrier, enough time to get results, but it's also not like too long where you're just not getting paid for like a full month. You're just doing like free service for a full month with, no payment coming to you. I've seen some people do 30 days. I've seen a lot of people do 7 days as well. Everything works. I would just start with 14 days. If you want to do 7 days, you can do 7 days, but go ahead, put your answer down over here. Then you define their journey, figure out, the person that you're trying to target. What is their current situation? What is their desired situation in that niche? What are the main pain points that come up in that niche? Then you want to plan out your free trial services. So list out exactly what you will do during the free trial period. You want to be very specific. What type of service are you going to provide during that free trial. So for example, I will find and book all their loads. I will handle rate negotiations, send them load confirmations, provide daily updates on available freight. That's just what I've written down as an example, just to give you an idea. But again, don't just copy what I have over here. Do your own research. This is the hard part about the business, but this is also the part that's going to make you the most amount of money. If you skip out on this part, if you get lazy over here, you're not going to make any money in this industry. Okay. And you don't deserve to if you can't even put in like the smallest amount of effort to build your business. So make sure you do your own research. You can even use ChatGPT to help you out if you really want to. How are you going to communicate with them? What won't you include in the free trial? You want to be very specific about that as well, so you set the right expectations. How are you going to upsell your client? So on day 10 of the free trial, that's when you're going to make the pitch. You could make it day 11, day 7, whatever. If you offer a 7-day free trial, you want to do it on like the 5th day or something like that. If you're offering a 30-day free trial, maybe on like the 21st day. Okay. So write that down. How much are you going to charge them, to continue working with them? 8%, 9%, 10%. I would charge nothing less than 8%. Okay. It's not worth it. And you're only scamming yourself at that point. 8%, 9%, or 10%, people will be happy to pay that. How will you present the upsell? You want to write it out so you don't start choking when the time actually comes to, present your offer. I've seen a lot of people, they don't really have an idea of how they want to pitch their offer. And then they completely fumble. They start rambling. They don't know what to say. And then they psych themselves out. Just write it down exactly what you're going to say to the person to pitch your offer. Keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it straight to the point. Just make the ask and then stop. Let them answer yes or no. Then how is the downsell going to work? What are you going to pitch for the downsell? Are there any offer enhancers? Are you going to offer some scarcity? Are you going to offer anything for free to them? Any like a tool or template or anything like that? Are you going to make any guarantees or promises? You can plan that out. Any testimonial collection. So how are you going to collect the testimonial? This part is really, really important. We don't want to just provide free dispatching for nothing. We're providing the free dispatching to collect proof. That proof is super, super, super important. That's what's going to make us a lot of money in the future. Okay. It's going to make us a millionaire. So we need to start collecting that proof. So this is super important. Make sure you figure out how you're going to do all that. And then finally, in step number 9, write out your complete offer. Once you've written all that stuff out, like you've done all this hard work, you need to form your entire offer into a coherent sentence. What are you going to say to a dispatcher if they say like, hey, what do you do? Like, what are you providing? This is what you say to them. So again, just follow this worksheet that I've built, worked so hard to build for you guys. Just follow this worksheet and you will be just fine. Okay. And the messaging worksheet is kind of similar to that. Okay. But we're not going to go through that right now. Anyways, let's jump back into the slideshow and let's just pick back up. So offer creation worksheet, that's where you go to find that. I will also leave a link in the description. Messaging worksheet, that's where you go to find that. Link will also be in the description. All that out of the way, let's talk about the traffic. So how do you actually find carriers? How do you put yourself in front of carriers? How do you find them in the first place? There's only 4 ways, as I mentioned in the beginning. There's warm outreach, cold outreach, content, and paid ads. First and foremost, let's just start off with warm outreach. Okay. So warm outreach is to people that you already know, and it's one-on-one. Okay. It's private conversations that you're going to have with these people. So what is warm outreach? Think of warm outreach like the people in your contacts, like in your phone contacts, the people that are friends with you on Facebook, the people that are following you on Instagram, the people you're following on Instagram, anyone that you are connected with on LinkedIn, the people you went to school with, your coworkers. All of these people are part of your warm outreach network. Okay. To some degree, all of these people already know, like, and trust you. You've already done the hard work of getting to know these people and forming some sort of relationship with them. I'm not saying you have to be best friends with all these people. Okay. A lot of these people, you basically just knew them in high school and you haven't talked to them in years. That might be the case, but at least feel a little comfortable just reaching out to them. Okay. That it's not going to be like super weird reaching out to them. They're a part of your warm outreach network. And here's the thing with warm outreach, you're not pitching to them. Okay. Most of these people, obviously, they're not going to be carriers. They're not going to be in the trucking industry. That's very obvious. Okay. If you knew like 100 truckers or carriers, you probably wouldn't need to be watching this video. You already know how to find the carriers. There's 100 of them in your network. Just go talk to them. But I'm not saying you go to these, your friends or family and try to tell them like, hey, do you want to work with me as a truck dispatcher? No, of course not. However, every single person that you can reach out to, they at least know one trucker, okay? They at least know one trucker in their life. There's a lot of truck drivers in the world, especially in the US. Every person at least knows one trucker. So all you're doing is just reaching out to your warm network, and all you're gonna tell them is, hey, I'm starting this new business, like a truck dispatching business. What I'm trying to do is offer free dispatching for 14 days. Do you think you can connect me with anyone that's in trucking? Okay, do you know anyone in trucking that you can connect me with? Anyone, that might be interested in this? I just want to provide free dispatching just so I can get some experience. That's it. All you're doing is just making your warm network aware of what you're doing, what your offer is, so they can do the pitching for you. Okay, they can reach out to the people that they know and they can do the selling for you. Because again, if they know, like, and trust you, then they're going to do that. So that's probably like the easiest way to find your first carrier. A lot of people are too scared to do this, which I don't really understand. Like, if you want to make a lot of money, you're literally just a few text messages away from doing that. Why are you scared to do it? Like, why are you denying yourself, the chance to start a really successful business? But hey, to each their own. So that's warm outreach. Super effective. You could do it right now. Find your first carrier in less than a week, honestly. Now, the opposite of warm outreach is cold outreach. So again, this is one-to-one. It's private conversations, one-on-one conversations, but this time it's to people that you don't know. So think about cold calling, cold emailing, cold DMing, lead scraping on Google, all of that stuff. Now, of course, the most infamous method of cold outreach is cold calling. Everyone hates cold calling. People hate doing it, and people hate receiving cold calls, okay? That much is obvious. We don't need to fool ourselves. However, at the end of the day, cold calling does work. It just takes a lot of volume, okay? Because again, you're reaching out to people that don't know you at all, and you're trying to convince them to jump on a call with you, to use your free dispatching service, but they don't know anything about you. It's just a random person that's just calling them, okay? And there's a lot of scam callers now as well. So anyone that calls them, any stranger that calls them, they're immediately, like, their red flag meter is already at like a 9.5 out of 10. They're already pissed off. So for most of the time, cold calling really doesn't work. Honestly, it's going to take you like 1,000 calls to at least get one carrier to say yes to working with you. If you're willing to do that, if you've got a big team of cold callers that you can, work with, if you have the time and energy to do that, put out like 1,000 cold calls, then great. Go ahead and do that. You will find success with this. It does work. It just takes a ton of volume. Honestly, you could put all that time and energy, instead of spending 5-6 hours just getting rejected over and over and over again and just making calls, you could spend those 5-6 hours on other methods. My favorite methods of getting traffic, one of which is content. Now, content is pretty straightforward. You're watching a piece of content right now. So content is to people that you know, technically, I would say kind of that you know, but again, it's one to many. So I could just put out one piece of content like this one video right here, and it might reach 100 people. It might reach 1,000 people, 10,000, 100,000, who knows? Okay. But the point is, I put out one piece of content and it doesn't just reach one person. It has the potential to reach millions of people if done right. Okay. So the leverage that you have on your time invested is super, super, super high. And not only that, but think about what you do with content. With content, you're not really pitching your service all the time. If you did that, people would hate you. Okay. They would not want to work with you. They would just think like, like stop wasting my time. What people are there for is to get value. For the most part, you're basically just giving away free information. Okay. And what happens with that? People start to know you. People start to like you because you're giving them free information, and they start to trust you. They start to look at you as like the industry expert. So this is the person I want to go to get this information. He gave me all this information for free. That means he knows a lot about this. If I want, if I have any issues in my trucking business, this is the person that can help fix that. He gave me all this stuff for free. Imagine if I paid him, okay, how much I could get in return. So you start to build that trust publicly. That's why content works so well, okay? 90% of the carriers that I get for my truck dispatching business come through content. I don't even pitch my truck dispatching service anymore. And every single day I will get at least 2 or 3 people emailing me, trying to work with me. but we can't work with them. We're at capacity right now, but you get the point. Content works super well. And by the way, once you post a piece of content, it's not like it disappears. It keeps growing in the background. So you post it once, you post it today, a month later, people will still be watching that old video that you posted. Okay, you still keep getting leads from that. A year later, people are still going back and watching that video. Okay, new people are still finding that video. So again, content has so much leverage, but no one is really using this. I would recommend you guys start posting content. So that is my favorite way to get traffic. My second favorite way, something that I usually have running in the background, is paid ads. Okay, paid ads, pretty straightforward. Think about Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads. You're basically paying money to get attention. Okay, so it's one to many. Again, you make one single ad, you spend enough money, you can get in front of, millions of people if you want to. But this time it's to people that you don't know. These people don't really know you. They haven't heard about your truck dispatching business before. They might be in trucking, but again, you're not really offering them of anything of value. You're basically pitching your service right away. Hey, I will dispatch your truck 14 days for free. Here's where you can go to sign up. You're not really giving them any value on the ad. Okay. But it still works super, super well. Kind of like you already saw, I spent $1,000 for that, for the Grand Slam offer, and we were able to convert 8 people into our paid service from that, 15 people into our free trial just by the end of the month after spending $1,000. And those were all people that never knew about me. They hadn't seen a single piece of content from me. So of course, this works super, super well. And the best thing about ads is that it runs in the background. Once I make an ad, I don't need to touch it again. I don't need to worry about it. I basically sit back. The ad is going to attract a bunch of people. They're going to go through my funnel and they're automatically going to book a call with me. All I have to do is just check my calendar every single day, see who booked a call, and jump on a meeting with them. That's it. So those are the 4 methods. And I know that was a lot of information, but just to simplify it for you, these are the 2 methods that I would start with. Okay. Start by making content right now. You can just make 60-second videos and posting ads. That's really all you need to do. What do I mean by that? Well, just post one 60-second video daily. So you don't need to post like 30, 40, 50-minute long videos like I am right now. You can post 60-second long videos, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. Just post one video every single day across all of those platforms. And if you can afford it, spend at least $20 to $25 per day on ads. If you can't afford to spend $20 to $25 per day on ads for at least a month, then don't do ads. Okay, just focus on content. That's it. Don't spend any money on ads. If you can't afford $20 to $25, you're basically wasting your money. Okay, if you spend $5, $10, $15 per day, you're not. The chances of you getting great results is pretty low. Okay, you need to be able to pay the algorithm to feed it. Okay, you're basically feeding the algorithm with your money. The more money that you're able to spend on the algorithm, the faster you're going to get results, the better results that you're going to get as well. So anyways, that's my strategy. Why should you do this? Again, the content is what's going to bring in the warm leads. These are people that you're giving value to, and then they trust you enough to jump on a call with you and want to work with you. These will be like the best clients that you ever find, the people that come through content. And then of course you have ads running in the background as well. So if your content isn't really converting a lot of people on the front end, it takes a while for content to start working. That's totally fine. You have ads in the background that are filling up your calendar and giving you some chances to sign carriers. And when should you do this? Well, I would start right away. Okay. At least with the content, start right now. Start posting 60-second long videos every single day for 30 days at least. You find out what works from the content that you posted, and then you just run ads behind your best video. So for 30 days, if you posted 30 videos, if one of those videos got like 10,000 views on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, you know that was a really good video. Like YouTube is not going to push a video, or TikTok or Instagram. They're not just going to push your video just for no reason. The only reason they push your video and you get a ton of views is if you made a really good video. That's it. If you didn't make a good video, you're not going to get a lot of views. So if you're getting a lot of views, that's a really good sign that you made a solid video, and you're just going to take that video and just turn it into an ad. Okay. If it worked as organic content, it's going to blow up as a paid ad. So that's like a secret strategy that not a lot of people know about, but you can go ahead and run that. Anyways, the final step is the sales call. So, you finally found a carrier, they scheduled a call with you, they jump on a call with you. What do you actually say to them now to convince them to sign a contract? Well, I've made it super simple for you. I have a full sales call script that you can just follow word for word. Okay. So let's look at that together really quickly. You can go to dispatcheruniversity.com/sales-call. I'll also leave a link in the description below. But really quick, let me just go ahead and open that up right now in front of you guys. So here's the sales call script. Here's what it's going to look like when you get access to it. Again, completely free. You don't need to pay me any money. And here's how the sales call script looks. And by the way, this is like the same sales call script that my closers use for my truck dispatching business. Okay. We work with 80 carriers right now. This is how we found all of them. We've worked with over like 700 carriers over the last 10 years, but 80 right now. Anyways, this script shows you how to run a full sales call with a carrier and close them on your offer. It follows a 6-step system called Closer Framework. And this actually came from Alex Hermosi. Again, I take a lot of inspiration from him. He's a great marketer, great salesperson. Learned a ton from him. Okay. So I used what he had and I applied it to truck dispatching. Worked incredibly well. So I just want to give credit to him as well. Anyways, each step in this Closer Framework is going to help you do one thing, and that is to find their problem, offer your help, and then close the deal. That's it. Okay. You're going to learn exactly what to ask, what to say, and what to do all in order. You can use this script every time that you're on a call with the carrier. You don't need to guess. Just follow the steps exactly as I've laid them out and just trust the script. Okay. In the beginning, don't freestyle it. Just look at the script, get used to this, and just follow it. You'll do great. So let me just go through this very, very quickly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Again, you have access to it. It's pretty straightforward. The first step is clarify. So figure out why they're talking to you in the first place. Now, a lot of the times, these carriers will jump on a call with you and they'll say something like, hey, I'm just looking around. Okay, I'm just kind of like window shopping. Well, of course not. No one is crazy enough to do that. No one is wasting their time just window shopping as a carrier. Okay, you're telling me you spent hours and hours. You spent hours of your time watching my content, or you clicked on an ad. You saw an ad of mine. You clicked on it. You landed on my VSL page. You filled out a long form to qualify yourself. You got a bunch of emails. Then you scheduled a call with me. You filled out more questions. Then you waited for the scheduled time to jump on this meeting. All that just to window shop. Of course not. The only reason you're here is because you have a problem that you think I can solve. So we want to cut through all that BS and just get to the heart of the problem. What problem are you stuck with? What problem are you struggling with? I need to know that. Okay. So again, the clarify step, what it is that you're trying to figure out what they want and why right now. Okay. And why it matters is because if you don't figure out their pain, what their problem is, you're not going to be able to get a sale. If they're not struggling, if you don't know what their problem is, there's no solution to it. They're obviously not going to buy because you don't really have a solution to pitch them. They didn't even tell you what they're struggling with. They didn't even tell you what their problem is. So again, if they don't have a pain, if they don't share their problem with you, there's nothing you can do. So basically what we're going to do is just ask them questions and just let them talk. We're just asking questions, let them talk. We're not doing any sort of pitching or anything like that. We're not talking about our dispatching service or what we do or anything like that. We're just asking them questions and just listening to them. That's it. So here's what you can say. Hey, what made you jump on this call today? What are you struggling with? Why right now? Why are you looking for a solution right now? So these are just some example questions that you can ask. Okay, so you can see kind of like how I've laid all this out for you. It's super easy to follow. Obviously, before like this clarify step, you can spend a few minutes to, do some light conversation, So you can ask them, hey, where are you calling in from? Oh, Wyoming. I've never been to Wyoming. What's it like? You're the first person I know from Wyoming. Any sports teams over there? How are they doing? I don't even know if Wyoming has any sports team, but, just have some small talk. A lot of people are very uncomfortable when they're talking to a stranger on a video call. So you want to loosen them up. If they're like already on edge, when you start the call, then you're already fighting like an uphill battle. So loosen them up, make some jokes, have some light conversation, and then get into this stuff. So that's the clarify step. Then we have label. So they just listed out all these problems to you. You just keep asking them, okay, so that's a problem. All right, what else? What else? What else? You want them to list out all their problems. So once they've listed them out, repeat their problems back to them in a simple and clear way. You want to summarize what they said so they feel understood. You basically repeat their problem, check for agreement, and move on. So you can say something like, hey, so what I'm hearing is, you're struggling with this, you're struggling with this, and you want help with this. Is that correct? And then you actually wait for them to answer that, okay? And yeah, again, it's super important that you do that because a lot of times carriers will ramble. They'll tell you a bunch of their problems. They'll go on like a bunch of stories and give you a whole bunch of context that you didn't ask for. And then they'll completely forget what they said. So before you move on to the next step, you want to clarify, hey, you just told me that you're struggling with this, this, and this. Is that correct? Did you say all those things? Yes. Perfect. Now we can move on. Then you have an overview, so you figure out what they've already tried in the past and why that didn't work. So, hey, what have you tried to solve this? Have you worked with a dispatcher before? Why didn't that work out? What did work out with them? You want to figure out all their attempts that they've made. This is probably not the first time that they're trying to solve this problem. So you want to figure out, what's going on? What have they already tried? Because again, the whole reason we're doing this, the whole reason we're asking all these questions is because we're building up some ammunition. We can use all of these answers when it comes time to pitch our service, which is the next step, sell the vacation. So you show them how you can solve their problem. This is where you actually pitch your starter offer, your Grand Slam offer, okay? You paint a clear picture of their dream outcome and how easy it can be. So you basically say something like, hey, I think I can help you out. Can I show you how? So you just listen to all their questions and answers. Then you jump into this. You ask for permission to pitch to them. You basically explain to them, hey, this is what my offer is looking like, that's really about it. You said you were struggling with this. Don't worry. We don't do things that way. You said that you didn't like when your past dispatcher did this. That's not something to worry about because we do something completely different. We do it like this. So all those things being said, are you ready to get started? You're going to make that ask. That's very important. You need to ask them right away. After you make your pitch, ask them if they're ready to get started, if they want to work with you right now. And then you just be quiet. Don't say anything else after you've made the ask, okay? Make the carrier say yes or no. A lot of people just start rambling after they made the ask and then they give up the sale. They talk the carrier out of the sale, which is so funny. 50% of the time, like 20-30% of the time, they won't have any questions and they'll just agree to it because they see like, hey, it's a free service, why not? But for some people, you're going to need to explain away some of their objections. So you want to explain away their fears. I've shown you how to do that over here. And then finally, once you've explained away the fears, you want to reinforce their decision. So you basically tell them, okay, if they say yes, you want to give them their next steps. You don't want to keep them guessing on what to do next. So you say something like, hey, great. I'm so excited to work with you. So right now, I'm going to send over some documents to your email. This is your email, correct? Great. I'm going to send you some documents for you to fill out and sign. So let me know if you got that email. And by the way, while I have you on this call, let's set up our onboarding call. So, there's some documents we need to fill out. We're going to go through all that. I'm going to show you what my process looks like to dispatch for you. And we're going to connect all the tech stuff. And then in 24 hours, we can start looking for loads for you. So what time works best for a quick 30-minute onboarding call so we can get you rolling? Set up this onboarding call within the next 24 to 72 hours. Okay. So again, by the end of this call, they know what they need to do, which is sign the contract and fill out a few documents and give them to you. And they know when you're meeting next as well. So you're meeting next for the onboarding call. You've set that meeting up right there on the call before you end the call. Boom. Okay. That's the entire sales call. So I hope you guys can see just how powerful this stuff is. I've literally just made it so easy for you to succeed. And again, think about how much money you would have to pay to get information like this. Let me tell you, there's no other course or anything like that. There's no one really teaching stuff like this, okay? Because they don't have a successful truck dispatching business. They might make like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per month. That's not enough to teach other people how to do it. You need to be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, in my opinion, to teach others how to do it. Anyways, there it is. All that for free. Last thing I should mention on the topic of, paid services and everything like that, I have a private school community. It's not something that you need to join, but I have a private school community. If you like this free course and you want more advanced training, if you want more one-on-one help from me, and you just want to be around other successful dispatchers, you can just join my private school community. It's literally just $97. And by the way, I will help you find your first carrier in 90 days. And if you don't find your first carrier, I will give you 100% money back. Okay. So you basically have no risk. So if you're interested in that, you could go to school.com/dispatch. There's a whole bunch of people that have found crazy results from this. Oscar is making $14,000 per month in 30 days. Arthur made $16,500 in 30 days. Eric made $15,000 per month in 85 days. So a bunch of people getting great results, and I can just show you. Here's the School Community Dispatcher University. When you actually get access to it, this is what it looks like. And I can actually just show you all the wins in here. So you can see right here, Eric 5 days ago got my first carrier. Maninder finally signed a carrier. Eric right over here, again, he signed 6 carriers in 30 days, in the last 30 days at least, but he's been around in this community for 85, 86 days. Dupinder, 6 carriers signed in 30 days. She's actually working with 10 carriers now. Norman, 3 carriers in 30 days. Oscar, he made $9,000. Andrew signed his first carrier. Richard is working with 4 carriers over here, booked 2 appointments over here. So yeah, I can keep going on and on. There's a 17-year-old over here that's working with the carrier. First carrier officially signed. So yeah, a ton of people are getting great results. Okay, it's literally $97 if you want to join it. If not, no worries, you could just do all this stuff for free as well. Anyways, all that out of the way, let me just summarize this video up for you really quickly. It's a pretty long video. First and foremost, make sure you create your offer, okay? Use the worksheets that I've given you guys to build a 14-day free trial that's easy to say yes to and simple to deliver. Then I want you guys to understand the power of a Grand Slam offer. You don't want to sound like every other dispatcher out there. You want to differentiate yourself. So stack your value so high that carriers almost feel like that they're scamming you, okay? That's how strong you want your pitch to be. And with the pitch that we have right now, that's exactly what we're doing. And then I want you guys to launch your traffic, okay? Actually put all this stuff into action. Just pick one method, whether it's cold calling, content, warm outreach, paid ads, whatever it is, just start, okay? Motion beats perfection. Finally, start closing these deals. When you jump on a call with them, just use the closer script that I just gave you guys. Follow each step like I have it. Ask the right questions, handle their doubts, and guide them to a yes. That's your job as a salesperson, okay? And then of course, lock it in after they say yes. So you need to set them, tell them what the next steps are. You need to send them the agreement and reinforce their decision so they don't back out. Anyways, the next video that we're going to go through, I've shown you guys how to find carriers, how to sign them. In the next video, I'm just going to show you how to dispatch. So literally step by step, everything that you need to do to dispatch loads. So how to find hot markets, how to negotiate rates with brokers, and of course, how to actually book high paying loads. I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. And if you want to watch that video, you can just go ahead and click over here.